Welcome everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. My name is Seamus Khan. I teach in sociology and in gender and sexuality studies. Last year it was my pleasure to be the interim director of gender and sexuality studies. And one of the things that I'm most sort of proud of is bringing Fawzia Afzal Khan here to campus, who has joined us for the last year, and we still have the pleasure of another year. And as you can probably all know and have experienced, Fawzia is like a force of nature. I would say a whirlwind, but that doesn't express in some ways the joy that she brings to a community, the energy, the vision. And so last year, Fawzia said, could we bring Shahid Nadeem from Pakistan? And I was like, well, would he come? And she said, I think I know a way, and I think I have enough of a connection with him to bring him here. And so it's my pleasure to welcome Shahid Nadeem here to Princeton. He's really, a leading playwright in Pakistan, probably beyond Pakistan, South Asia, and a very important voice in the world of theater today across the world. This is done both through his writing as a playwright, and his directing, his engagement as sort of a cultural diplomat, and through his running of the Ajoka Theater. Shahid was born, Fawzia, you had the date on the thing, but I'm not reading the date. But he was born in Kashmir and became a refugee at the age of 1, as there was political conflict between India and Pakistan over the space of Kashmir. And he lived in Lahore, where he did his master's in psychology from the Punjab University. I have a personal connection to this. My father is Punjabi. He's from a village outside of Lahore, and went to King Edward's before moving to the United States in the 1970s, where he met my mother from Ireland at Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, as people do in New York City. He wrote his first play as a university student and became a dedicated playwright in part in exile as he was living in London. He wrote plays for Pakistan's dissident theater group, Ajoka, set up by Madiha Bukhar, who was a pioneering theater activist and whom he later married. Shahid has written over 50 plays in Punjabi, Urdu, and several Urdu adaptations of Brecht's plays, bringing Brecht to Pakistan and beyond. His plays have been performed around the world, and so in London, in Hammersmith, in Glasgow, in Denmark, in the Black Box Theatre in Oslo, at the Women's Theatre in San Francisco, you name it, and I'm so excited. I don't know, Shahid, have you had a play performed here in Princeton before?
Not in Princeton.
Not in Princeton, yeah. So we're late to the party. We're late to the party, but it's such a pleasure then to be able to have a reading here. His plays have been translated into English by both Oxford University Press and Nick Hearn Publishers. He's also had several anthologies of his work. He's been awarded many of the highest honors, both in Pakistan and beyond, including the President of Pakistan's Medal for the Pride of Performance in 2009, one of the most important celebrations of art and artists within Pakistan. He's also directed several plays and for stage and television at the Theatre for Peace Festival. He's been part of the BBC Urdu language service, producing documentaries on a range of cultural topics. His plays are known to be bold. These are plays that are sort of socially relevant pieces of work that often engage with taboo topics, like religious extremism, violence against women, discrimination against minorities, freedom of expression, climate, peace, Sufism, you name it. He's sort of taken on these positions, and several of the plays address the issue of partition in South Asia and the shared knowledge and heritage of the region. These are ones that I particularly know, and actually, unfortunately my father couldn't be here. He lives in Princeton, and I moved here. He did, and I was talking to him about it, and he was born in 1946, just before partition, on the border between Pakistan and India. in the Punjab, and this very much affected his life. I remember going to the village and talking to my grandfather and asking him about it, and it was the one thing he was willing to talk about a lot of things, but this was not one of them. And I think that raw experience is something that Shahid's plays really bring to life. He does with traditional forms, with folk heritage, and to present entertaining and intellectually stimulating theater. Music is also an inherent part of this. In addition to all of his work as a writer and a director, he teaches art of writing at the Ajoka Institute for Performance. To welcome Shahid Nadeem here to Princeton University. Thank you all for being here, and I very much look forward to the reading that we're about to hear. Thank you.
Lights now.
Why are we? Well, why not? Burqa is not just an Islamic attire, it's also a metaphor which we have used in our play, from which we have seen the extracts. The play was called Burqa Vaganza.
And also, my students have been studying Spies of Empire in my course this semester, so you should all know that burqas are a kind of mask, right? Another disguise, and spies love disguises.
And today we have brought you a story of espionage, disguises, romance, or a story of burqas.
Oh, prologue! See, I forgot my lines. The prologue! Allied powers are gathered at the Palace of Versailles. It's 1919, celebrating their victory in World War I, at the end of World War I. Present at the carving up of the Middle East are the President of the United States, the Prime Minister of France, and the Prime Minister of UK. And of course, the spies of empire will make their way to the mix soon enough.
Well, thankfully, despite the embarrassment those Bolsheviks caused us last year by leaking our agreement to the press, the Triple Entente has won the war against the Ottomans, and
Oui, thanks to us, both of us, we managed to defeat Germany and Turkey. Dieu merci. And now we have a clear path to our territories in Arabia.
I'm glad to see the Akka Haifa zone is clearly marked for British control, which,
yes, gives you access to the Mediterranean. France has been magnanimous to the British indeed.
Clemenceau, old chap, we've exceeded your demand for control over Damascus and the Levant, an area we had promised to Emir Faisal, so you shouldn't be complaining.
It is not a complaint, yet. But there is a problem I foresee with this map.
And what's that?
Well, as you can see, only western Syria and lower Mesopotamia are defined as French areas in this map, leaving the question of who will gain control over Damascus un peu ambigu. I fear your Arab lover, El Orange, will make things difficult for us Frenchmen.
Oh, I don't think you need to fear anything from Lawrence. He has done the work we needed him for. He led the Arab army of Emir Faisal to victory at Aqaba. He even paid the ultimate price a man of honor can pay in that sordid Turkish den when he was caught and
Woo! How dashing, Captain Lawrence.
Colonel Lawrence now.
Raymond, oh Michael Boo, Colonel.
Glad our French women find the colonels look so pleasing. But what does England intend to do?
I say, Clemenceau, are you threatening to withdraw concessions? Britain will not stand for such.
Shh, messieurs, I want to listen to the colonel.
Gentlemen, ladies, I want to take this opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the son of Sharif Hussein of the Hijaz, the true king of Arabs and a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad.
Hey, I say, Lawrence, this is hardly the time or place.
Oh, let the chap speak. After all, this is in line with my presidential proposal for self-determination for all peoples. The United States of America supports freedom for all peoples.
Why, thank you, President Wilson, and thank you as well, Madame. Now, my government had promised the Emir and his people all of Arabia in return for his services. The death rattle of the sick man of Europe would have just kept on rattling if it had not been for him and his Hijazi Bedouins.
Oh, I hear your spy is quite obsessed with Arab men.
And Faisal concludes his opening remarks to you all by saying that all of Asian Arabia, the Hijaz, Najd, Transjordan, Palestine, Syria, and Mesopotamia should be granted independence, and we should be one nation as we're inseparable, both racially and geographically. I do have no problems with the Balfour Declaration and support Jewish immigration into Palestine, as Jews are our cousins. There's room in Syria for us all, but we stand opposed to a Jewish state. The Semitic race of Jews and Arabs is one and indivisible race.
Wonderful speech! We in America are so fascinated by your exploits, Colonel Lawrence. You are the uncrowned king of the Arabs, undoubtedly.
What kind of joke is this? The uncrowned king of Arabia? Is this a publicity stunt for you, or is our cause, the Arab cause, going to get a fair hearing?
Oh, there goes Lawrence, your uncrowned king of the Arabs.
Listen, dear boy, we all think Ibn Saud is a better leader for the Arabs. He is a true believer who will rally them to the Wahhabi network. Faisal is a bit too civilized.
So, we need the help of the primitives, do we now, to help us control the other primitives?
Don't take it so hard. Maybe there is a consolation prize in all of this for your beloved Faisal. Maybe even for his brother Abdullah once the new borders are drawn. Secular Arabs on one hand and the truer souls of the Arabian desert on the other. That will keep a balance of power in the region.
You really don't get it! I'd wanted to unify all of Arabia under Faisal. And my dreams of adventure are the deeds of an empire that's built to last! You're also short-sighted!
Okay, professors, blah blah democracy, blah blah Europe. But what does the Middle East have to do with South Asia?
Well, Lawrence, turned up in Lahore at the end of the World War I, disguised as Airman Shaw of the British Royal Air Force, after failing to win Arabia for his friend Amir Faisal.
That's right. And you know what? He continued his spy activities for the empire, befriending two Arab brothers from Kuwait, Zain and Ali, princes both, who ran the famous Arab hotel of Lahore in the 1920s.
This man says he has a message from Kabul.
I am the emissary of Ghazi Amanullah, Malik of Afghanistan.
How do we know you are who you say? So, what is the message?
I am honored to meet the son of Prince Abdullah bin Sharif, brother of King Faisal of Iraq.
Meet Hattie, the real Prince of Arabia.
So, what is your message?
Nice to see your new face, Amir. His Excellency the Amir conveys his greetings and deep appreciation for your invaluable support in their struggle against British imperialism and their lackeys.
Yes, we also have great admiration for Ghazi Amanullah's policies of progressive reforms in favor of the people of your country. We are impressed by the courage he has shown in his battle against the regressive forces of the Shinwari tribes instigated by the British.
I may be allowed to assure you, Prince Ali, that our king is determined till the end to protect an independent and progressive Afghanistan. But I am here today to warn you about another matter entirely, Prince.
Oh.
There is a British spy in your ranks who is not only sabotaging our cause, but the greater Palestinian and Arab struggle as well.
A spy? How is this possible?
Prince Ali, that's not even the worst of it. We have information he's reached your inner ranks.
Our inner circles.
How reliable is your source?
Most reliable, sir. It's Haj Ahmed al-Husseini, the great leader of the Palestinian resistance.
Sahibs, the police are outside, asking for the Afghan.
The police are outside asking for the Afghan.
Take him from the back door, brother. Hurry, brother, hurry. Fi amanullah, brother.
Fi amanullah, Prince Ali, sir. Who could this spy be? We have to find out.
And find him soon.
And now, we turn to another famous hotel of the era in Lahore, the Hotel Nidu, a hotbed of political intrigue, owned by one Harry Nidu, a Croatian who ended up marrying a Kashmiri named Mirjan. Akbar Jahan, who you just met in a Arab male drag, is their spirited young daughter, and in this hotel, lots of beautiful things
But he is handsome, isn't he?
Concentrate on your work, daughter, and keep your eyes and ears open. These are tense times. They caught a communist spy from our premises last week. What we don't want is another spy scandal here.
Come on, Mother. Does he look like a spy?
Don't go by appearances, Akbar. Haven't you heard of that Lawrence of Arabia? How he remained undetected as an Arab spy and then took down the entire Khilafat?
Don't tell me he is Lawrence, Mother. Next you will say he has come to help us destroy the British Empire! And he may even help it. He may even end up helping us, Kashmiris.
Akbar!
Guests are calling, Akbar. Your John Deere, the orders. Akbar, attend to the Arab.
Who is he, Baba? An Arab prince?
No, daughter, a customer. That's who he is. We don't ask for a profile from our customers. Now, go and help the table.
Oh, there you are. Took you a long time to bring my omelet.
Sorry, sir. The Portuguese omelet takes time, sir. My mother's specialty.
But I asked for a Spanish omelet, young woman.
It is a Spanish omelet, sir, but a Portuguese recipe. Anything else, sir? Drinks?
You know we Muslims don't drink, dear girl. Now, what's your name?
Akbar Jahan. I am the owner's daughter, sir.
Okay, owner's daughter. Well, let us find out if your mother's omelets are as good as you say. Now, aren't you a little young to be up so late?
I have just turned 18.
Well, congratulations. Well done. Now run along. We men have some business to discuss.
Yes, sir. Please call if you need anything else. He asked my name, Abidjan.
Never give your name to strangers. Hanging around with those Arab boys had made you really immodest.
Well, according to Baba, you gave him your name on the first meeting you had in Kashmir.
It's destiny, my dear. Okay, look, table number 7 is calling.
Inqilab Zindabad! Inqilab Zindabad!
Down with imperialism! Down with imperialism!
Sir, you can't raise slogans in a cafe. We don't indulge in politics here. Do you
Are
have
you-
a reservation? See, rights of admission are reserved.
Are you a lackey of the British? Do you ask for reservations from all your customers or only from us Indians? Do you also display a sign saying dogs and Indians not allowed?
I did not say that. We do have a table. Table 6. What are you looking for?
Would you like to order something, sir?
Yes, I would like to order the spy. Is it on the menu, miss?
No, sir, we don't serve that dish.
But you do serve the Empire. Our apologies for disrupting your peaceful evening here. But you must know there is no peace out there in His Majesty's India. Why, only yesterday our beloved Lala Rajput Rai was brutally murdered by the police.
My dear son. Please, my dear son.
I'm no son of a British lackey. I am the son of a federal Bharat Mata, soon to be free. Inqilab!
Zindabad!
Please, I asked you to stop all of that. Besides, the man who ordered the lathi charge is the police chief, Superintendent Nicholson.
We will get to him soon too. But right now, we are looking for the spy, and we know he is here.
No spy here, sir. As you can see, they are all regular customers.
They are all your regular customers? Him, and him, and him. Where is the Arab? Where did he go?
I don't know, sir.
I know it. He is a spy.
He may have gone to the toilet.
He seems to have vanished. Who was he? Was he a regular customer? Who was he, I said?
Sir, I have no idea. I don't know.
I will go after him. The spy must not get away. Please, recite the revolutionary poem. Inqilab Zindabad!
Inqilab Zindabad!
क्या हिंद का जिंदा कांप रहा है, गूंज रही हैं तकदीरें, उकताए हैं शायद कुछ कैदी और तोड़ रहे हैं जंजीरें.
Wah!
In the prison of life, some prisoners are crying and some chains are breaking.
संभलो कि वो जिंदा गूंज उठा, झपटो कि वो कैदी छूट गए, उठो कि वो बैठी दीवारें, दौड़ो कि वो टूटी जंजीरें.
Zanjeerein! Wah, wah.
The prison let out a roar, the walls shattered, the chains snapped, the prisoners set free.
I sincerely apologize for this disruption. These are difficult times, as you know. Please enjoy your dinner. Drinks are on the house. It's all right. They've all gone.
But he is still here.
Who? Who are you? Where is Eunice, our chef?
I'm sorry, sir. I was taken by surprise.
You are Lawrence.
Lawrence? The Lawrence?
Hello, Hello, get a hold of yourself.
Shaw, Hammond, Shaw, sir. How do you do? I beg your leave. If you please, sir, may I use your window? And the omelette was delicious, Miss Akbar Jahan, and a very happy birthday to you.
I love that spy!
Hello, get a hold of yourself.
So now we move to the next scene, which is going to take place in Akbar Jahan's bedroom, where the intrigue thickens.
Is he here yet? Not yet. Is he here now? Not yet, but he will come soon, I'm sure, as he said he had an urgent message for us.
I wonder, Rosa, what kind of message?
Here he is!
Oh, where are they?
In the closet, of course.
Oh, I think they should come out.
Not yet. We cannot take any chances.
You're taking an awfully long time, my dear.
He's clean.
What?
You can come out now.
So why did you want to see us at Oran's? Or should we call you Airman Shaw?
I have an urgent message for your uncle, Emir Faisal of Iraq.
Why? Haven't you heard him enough?
His life's in danger. You've got to trust me.
You have already betrayed the Arab cause. Why should he trust you now?
It was I who was betrayed at Versailles, and now I'm determined to come and make amends. That's why I'm here.
Oh, really? So tell us, what is this urgent message for our uncle?
No one can hear us.
Well, the Emir is planning to meet Qazi Emanuel
Yes, we know.
What you don't know is that there's also a plot to assassinate them both.
What? By whom? Why now, when all has been settled?
Well, what you don't know is that the era of the Triple Entente is now over, and there are new players in the oil fields.
New players?
In the oil fields?
But why a monologue?
Because he stands in the way
Of what?
of containing the Soviet Union, of course.
We think he may have already left Baghdad.
Well, then you have to stop him. You must.
What are you two waiting for?
Let's hurry, brother. We must dispatch a special messenger at once.
I hope they get the message across in time.
Oh, I'm just glad that I was here in time.
In time.
In time to see you, my dear Miss Akhtar.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, I had heard that Kashmiri women were beautiful, but I was misinformed.
Excuse me?
No wonder they call Kashmir a paradise on earth. Now, where else would one find a boyish Khuri like you, so delicious in your masculine trap?
Yes, like boys, we Houthis can fight like tigers to defend our homeland. Wanna try?
What is this man doing in your bedroom? And how did he get here? Through the window?
Listen, white man, do you know our tradition? If a man is found in bed with a non-mahram woman, he has to marry her, or he's a dead man.
But Abba, it's
You
not
have,
what you think.
Khabardar, you have no right to speak. You have brought disgrace to the family name.
Either marry my daughter, scoundrel, or prepare to die. You have 5 minutes.
Well, so my Hillary, or should I say tiger, shall we die fighting or get married?
Do you find this a laughing matter? If we don't marry, they will surely kill us both. That is what they call honor killings.
That's a strange concept of honor. In my country, honor is determined in battle, not in the bed.
We've got 3 minutes.
So then we'd better hurry up. Akbar Jahan, will you accept my hand in marriage?
I accept.
What?
You thought it was a joke. I mean it.
But why? Why would you marry a British spy?
Because we have a serious purpose in common.
Well, I understand that we both want to say Faisal, but...
It's much more than that, and you know it. We here need your government support for the Arab cause, but also for our own independence in India, Kashmir, and Afghanistan. It's all interconnected, and our moment of liberation is here. You didn't think I had just fallen for your good looks, did you?
Well, that's a rather tall order, young woman. You really have to marry in order to achieve that goal.
Do we have a choice? 1 minute.
Well, this won't be a traditional marriage, you know.
Well, okay, but I do expect flowers, you know? We are ready. Oh, and so now we have the wedding of
So, does this mean that Akbar Jahan and Lawrence lived happily ever after?
Well, you don't live happily after marriage, but in this case, it was rather quite unhappily married.
Yes.
Oh, then what happened?
Because, my dear young man, their relationship unraveled because Lawrence just wasn't around. Now, what kind of marriage is that? Eh?
So, who are you, Elrond? Are you still in love with your Arab boys? Or is it the lure of the desert that you miss? Here I am, the rose of Kashmir, wilting away for lack of touch, while your camels stand ready for another adventure in the sand. And you, Airman Shaw, you vanish in thin air. Where is it that you go? We were supposed to be in this journey together, saving our lands and leaders from the enemies of our freedom. You said you would help me, help us, help our cause, but I cannot tell if those promises were real or just a mirage. Who are you? Where are you, oh Elrond, Shaw, Prince of Nowhere?
Here I am. The rose for my rose.
Stop, please. Tell me where you have been these past 6 months. I thought we were partners, but you tell me nothing anymore. I can't stand it.
Trust me, please, just a little while longer. I didn't want to endanger you during this new mission.
You don't seem to get it, do you? I'm not just a spy's helpmeet. I'm also a full-bodied woman of flesh and blood. I have desires. I want you, Lawrence, or whoever you are right now. But I don't think you desire me, not even when I dress as a man. Is it me or is it women in general you don't fancy? Why did I allow myself to think you had changed your sexual proclivities?
What nonsense you talk, my Kashmiri rose. Look, I brought you your favorite cherries.
Ah, I see. You've been in the north, haven't you?
I'm so sorry, darling. We're just gonna have to talk about this next time.
Wait,
I must dash now.
where are you off to? When will I see you again?
I'll be back very soon, my dear
Ah, so the plot really thickens. Professor AK,
Yes?
you told us that Akbar Jahan's character was based on Isabel Eberhardt. I still don't see the connection.
Well, look, yes. I mean, Eberhard Isabel was a spy in the service of the French in Algeria. And her disguise was that of an Arab man, which inspired me, you see, to dress as my hero, Laurence. And I thought that Akbar Jahan, you see, would make a very good South Asian Eberhard, challenging that white male Lawrence's dominant spy narrative.
I see.
Yes.
And these disguises, as I said earlier, are the stock in trade of spies.
So now you will all see Laurence. And yet, well, I say Laurence because it's Laurence, but it's really Lawrence. Lawrence in yet another of his disguises, this time as the Sufi cleric Bir Karam Shah, stirring up trouble in Afghanistan.
Brothers, please note that we are here in Jalalabad, and Kabul is up on this side. Our Lashkar will move through this corridor, past the Lataban Pass in the mountains, and after crossing the Kacharka Hills, we will meet with our allies from the Yusufzai tribe and encircle Kabul city with our combined strength.
Our allies inside the Manullah's army will be awaiting our signal to start the mutiny and open the Koheshar Darwaza of Kabul's Bala Hisar fort in the south to let us in.
We will blow up the bridge in the north at Pulichachi here, and the path of the communist forces will be blocked. Don't worry.
And the Turks? They already have military advisors lined up to assist the Manullah.
Well, see, here there's only one way for them to enter, which is through Iran's borders with us. But we already have an agreement with the Shah of Iran that he will not let any forces through.
Ah, Pir Karam Shah. I see you seem to have thought it out all clearly and kissed your hand in allegiance.
But remember, everyone, the real force that will ensure our victory is the might of Islam and the hatred of the true mujahids against the Kafir Amanullah regime and his infidel foreign backers. The flames of this fire must be continuously fanned!
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar!
But, Professor,
Yeah.
what was Akbar Jahan doing in Lahore while Lawrence was in Afghanistan?
Well, Akbar Jahan in Lahore was getting very angry, very mad.
Yes, because now, you see, she suspected him of being a betrayer of their joint cause. So she decided she wanted, like any woman who is fed up with her husband's antics, a divorce!
But Lawrence would not divorce her.
Ah!
What
For
to do?
reasons of his own, but you and I know, Shahid, that the Akbar Jahan's family knew how to get a divorce.
The Desi way.
Punjabi style.
Hey you! Do you know who I am?
Yes, I know you. You're Gama Pelavan, the All-Indian Wrestling Champion.
Champion of the world! Rustami Zaman!
Are you here for a fight, Gama?
Yes!
Here in Lahore?
Yes! Here in Naidu.
Really? Here they do. And where's your opponent?
He's right in front of me! Come on, Lawrence Pehliwan of Arabia. You may have beaten many Turkish Pehliwans by deceit and crookedness, but you can't trick a Rustami Zaman. Gama, come, shake hands.
What are you trying to do, Gama? This is no place for a match, and I have no reason to fight you.
But I have! You've tricked my niece Akbar, and you've insulted the Naidu family. I have reason. Come, you coward. What kind of man are you, Lawrence Pehliwan of Arabia? Are you a champion of the eunuch Pehliwans? I need the divorce papers. And the pen, please. Now come, sign, you eunuch.
There's no way to get the divorce papers signed here. And you know, by the way, you need to have these attested by a magistrate.
If we can get your signatures, we can get theirs too. Is that okay, Sister Marjan?
Wait, one sign is missing.
Oh, come on, sign, bro. If you need anything else, let me know.
Thank you. Okay, now we can call Abdullah and get our daughter's hand in marriage. And ready for right after that we'll call the Barat.
Okay, goodbye. Come, you scoundrel. Don't worry, I'll take care of this one.
I hate that spy!
Oh, sabalo, beta.
So, professors,
Yeah.
what happened after the divorce?
Well, Akbar Jahan, soon after the divorce, got married to Sheikh Abdullah, the young Sheikh Abdullah, who later became leader of the Kashmiri people at Sher-e-Kashmir, and she became Madre Meherban, the mother of nations.
But what became of the Arab brothers?
And Bhagat Singh.
Well, let's find out, folks.
Why did she have to get married to that Sheikh Abdullah and leave us in our struggle for Arab freedoms?
Do not be silly, brother. She belongs to the Kashmiris, and she is fighting side by side with her husband and focusing on the rights of Kashmiri women. And do not forget, all of our struggles are interconnected.
Yeah.
She knows this. She is with us in our struggle.
You are right, brother. I just miss her so much. She was our third brother, wasn't she?
Indeed. But what about our cousin Faisal? Have you heard that he has sold the Palestinians out to the British? by agreeing to the Balfour Declaration?
You are wrong, Brother Ali. Faisal has always been a pan-Arab nationalist.
Right.
He registered his reservations to this declaration, saying he only accepts Jewish immigration, but never a Jewish state.
Really? This is very good news. But now he must be in even greater danger? The Zionists and their backers will never leave him be alone.
Thankfully, we have been able to foil 2 plots against our cousin's life. One with the help of Amanullah's emissaries, and the other because of Lawrence's intelligence.
Yes. That reminds me, actually. Where is our British double agent? We haven't seen him since he and Akbar gifted us this photo of him in full Arab regalia as a thank you gift. This is weird. But I wonder what guise he wears now. It seems he has a hand in Amanullah's overthrow.
I always suspected he was hostile to our Indian communists.
Oh, yes. Well, now we have Bhagat Singh hiding in our basement. We are never far from the communists, it seems. Speak of the devil, there he is. I suppose even communists have to eat. Right. Marhaba, brother. Marhaba, comrade. How goes the revolution? We haven't heard about this activities of your Socialist Republican Party in some time now.
Oh, don't worry, comrades. You will hear about it very soon with a bang.
Where is that terrorist Bhagat Singh? We do not know. He is not here.
Don't tell me lies. We have evidence that you've been hiding the killer of Stephen and Saunders in your basement. I give you one last chance to turn him over. You have reason to believe not only that you helped this traitor, but that you are funding and supporting terrorists from Palestine, Kashmir, and God knows where else.
No.
Look at this. Explosives? You have a bomb factory in your basement? Men! Arrest these Arabs!
Okay, all right then. Dear students, you were confused before, but now I think everything is clear, right?
I thought Tariq Ali in his book Clash of Fundamentalism had made it abundantly clear. Wasn't it, Fawzia?
Yes, but Shahid, I couldn't put everything on my syllabus now, you know? So, Clash of Fundamentalisms didn't make it. I'm sorry.
Well, I wish she was here to explain things to the poor students. They're so
And
confused.
that is where I've got you, because I did invite him. I knew you would want him here. And let us
there he
see.
is.
No, he's
Not this
not
one?
there. I invited him and I'm looking for him. Tariq! Where are you? Why are you hiding? Come on.
Found me. Want to see these days. Well, in response to your question, young woman, Afghanistan emerged in the mid-18th century as a confederacy with a strong-headed king at its head, coveted by the British viceroy and Russian Tsar alike. Its impossible topography and its people's fighting spirit enabled it to avoid occupation by either colonial power.
But sir, what about the long-lasting effects of numerous 19th century interventions in Afghanistan by colonial and imperial powers?
Yes, well, the great game of diplomacy and espionage between Russia and Great Britain led to the Durand Line, which was designed to make sure that Afghanistan could not be used to attack the British Empire in India. And the Brits succeeded in that mission. Well, at least for a while.
What happened next?
Oh, dear Lord. Guess it's true what they say. Students these days don't read any history. That, of course, is when World War II happened, and it unleashed unprecedented levels of destruction and suffering. It also led to the 1947 partition of India. Indeed, many of the colonies in the European Empire were liberated, but they never achieved real freedom. Those wounds are still festering today in Kashmir, Afghanistan, Palestine, Iraq.
thanks to the new imperial power, the US of A, that succeeded, or should I say, began to work in cahoots with the former colonial empires. The great game carries on.
But must we all play it, sir? Is it Zaruri? What about free will?
Well, that is a question for the philosophers. I am just a historian.
In Ajoka play, Lawrence in Lahore, which we performed in Lahore earlier this year, we did not end it in such a somber or despondent note. We ended with this message that the legacy of legacy of Lawrence of Arabia continues, and this is how we ended the Bihar.
ढूंढो ढूंढो करो तलाश, कर दो इसका पर्दाफाश, हो जासूस का सत्यानाश, बीच चौराहे टांगो नाश, यही कहीं है वो बदमाश, यही कहीं है वो बदमाश।
Where is it? Come on, up.
हम देखेंगे, लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे। जब जुल्मों सितम के कोहे गरा रूही की तरह उड़ जाएंगे, हम महकूमों के पाँव तले ये धरती धड़ धड़ धड़केगी, और अहले हकम के सर ऊपर जब बिजली कड़कड़ कड़केगी, लाज़िम है कि हम भी देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे, लाज़िम है कि हम भी देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे, लाज़िम है कि हम भी देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे।
We will see the dawn of freedom one day. Thank you so much. So before we conclude, I would like to thank a few people, and then we are going to have a short Q&A discussion session. I want to thank first of all the Gender and Sexuality Studies program for the encouragement and the support, and particularly, hello, no talking, Professor Seamus.
We are acknowledging you.
Seamus Khan there, who actually gave me this idea, because when I wanted to invite Shahid to come and join my students and us in this concluding part of our course, because T.E. Lawrence is one of the spies, of course, that we are reading about. I said, Seamus, how are we going to do it? We only have this limited time because of Princeton's strange scheduling. And he said to me, listen, you can do it like this. Do it like a director's cut or a director's class. And that is what we did. And so I thank you, Seamus, and I thank you for your support this past. First and foremost, my students. I really want you to give it up for them. These are serious students. No, I didn't mean to imply actors are not serious. So thank you. I really appreciate the time and the trouble extra outside of class that you all took. And certainly in my class you are going to do very well. Don't worry. Second of all, I'd like to thank particularly Nabiha. One of my students who said, I will do the tech, and she did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Then my colleagues and community members, without whom tonight would not have been possible. It's been a joy really to get to know people in the larger Princeton community. Somebody who works here, and that would be my dear friend Iman over here. Thank you. Arifa over there, who and helped bring this program together, and of course, two wonderful professors here who it is a joy and an honor to have gotten to know this past year. Fauzia Faruqi from South Asian Studies, and my very beloved Nadra Shalhoub Kapoorian, who is from Jerusalem, and it's an honor to know you, and thank you for participating. And of course, our marvelous dancer. Trained, and of course did a fantastic job elevating our show tonight. Thank you so very much. And of course, not least of all, Shahid Nadeem, with whom I have had a very long association. Spanning continents now, and many institutions. I want to also thank my family. I mean, they all showed up, including my son who played thank you. My daughter, and my daughter-in-law. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, they're all here. Sadly, my son-in-law had to take care of the little grandkids. But so good man, right? And I think we'll have a short Q&A, and then we have a little musical surprise for you. So please stick around. Thank you. And I would like to invite one of our graduate students who is doing a PhD in history here at Princeton, and that is Sunaina Danziger, who I've gotten to know also. Please come on up. I don't know what happened to our third. Why don't you sit right in the middle? Do you mind? No. And she will get us started.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. This was wonderful. My dissertation in the history department is on this time period and on espionage and also selfhood questions. So this was very much up my alley. So thank you, Fauzia, for the invitation.
Of course.
Just very brief comments on things that resonated with me and things that were interesting to me. I loved that there was this is a very, very small point, but that the idea of who is a spy, what makes a spy, does putting on a disguise make someone a spy? You have Lawrence and you have this shy boy who I know is very briefly playing a role there, but is someone who is conveying state secrets, but is, lower class. There's the class dimension to this question, versus someone like Lawrence who is known as a spy, such that there is this question of, can you be a very good spy if people know who you are, if people have heard stories about what you've done in previous wars, can you be an effective spy after that? But I loved all of the bits about gender and cross-dressing and disguise and performance. Another theme that struck me is just the way that romance plays a role here. How much of that is real? How much of it is a successful tool of espionage? Can you be a good spy because you're very dashing and attractive, but also there's something vulnerable about being seduced or being in that role? How much can it slip into being real? And then also just with this question of what is real, what is performed, which I think runs throughout here. But political commitment seems to be expressed mostly as this real thing, especially for the side that represents this kind of joint commitment. India and stretching through to basically the Arab world. But the political question as well is Lawrence performing his politics? Can it slip into being real? And at the same time, is there any point at which the slippage on the other side also becomes something that is dangerous? How real are the politics involved in this too? But yes, I just wanted to ask just quickly, because those are some framing thoughts, but I'm curious for audience questions. But I just wanted to ask first, Fawzia and then also Shahid, what prompted the play? What led you to get started with writing it?
Thank you so much. The framing questions, of course, are very much somebody in the throes of her dissertation, and I love them. Thank you, and I hope people can take, because I think framing is a very important question, and discovery and disguise, not easy, to link the two, and how to avoid the discovery through disguise, I think is a question that we raise, obviously. But in terms of how we got started, so very quickly, I just want to say that I had been doing a visiting professor stint at at NYU in Abu Dhabi, and I remember when I was first there, and I'm sitting in one of these 7-star hotels on the beach with a big desert and water, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like Empire Redux, and I'm half expecting Lawrence to come, with his camel. And I remember thinking it really felt like an outpost of an empire in a very twisted and strange way. So that sort of prompted some thoughts, and then I met some interesting playwrights. Rashid Khalidi's son was out there doing something, and we talked, and I said, well, I have this ideas coming to me. Ismail was there, and so he said, write it. And I said, well, I do write, but I write mostly, one-woman shows. So let me call up my friend Shahid Nadeem in Lahore, who is a well-known and well-respected and very prolific playwright, and ask him if he will collaborate with me. So that is really how it got started, and also because of my own very passionate interest in connecting different histories and bringing together questions of what is happening in as far away as Palestine to what is happening in Pakistan, Kashmir, etc. I see them as really very, very intertwined, and I think most of us do, but it doesn't get talked about that much, and certainly not in theater. I haven't seen very much, so I thought it was a good idea. And then we came across Tariq Ali's book, which actually told us this story about Akbar Jahan, who had married briefly Lawrence, and I thought, here we go. I called up Shahid. Shahid, take it away.
Well, history, in fact, in our part of the region, we live history. The history is very much there as a part of our present, and look at the relation between India and Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran. So centuries or thousands of years of history is always intertwining with our present day. And we always, as a Joka theatre, we go back into history and see where distortions are made and how those distortions can be corrected. And suddenly, when we discovered that Lawrence actually had spent time in Lahore, in my own city, and our Arts Council was just next door to the Hotel Nidos, which is now called Avari.
Where I got married, by the way. Where is my husband?
Okay. So and then not only through Tariq Ali's book, but through personal contacts, people would come to me and say, look, my grandfather knew Lawrence, and they met on the way to Miran Shah. He stopped in their barrack. And then there were others who said in Karachi, when he was Airman Shaw, he actually shared an office with my grandfather. So somehow all these factors of history became alive. And we know, you may not realize it, but we know that Lawrences are still there, and colonial manipulation is still there, very much part of the region. So it became really a living history, and people in Pakistan, they immediately could relate to it. And when they say, yahi kahin hai wo badmash, that scoundrel is somewhere right there. And there have been so many scoundrels, and I have written about those present-day scoundrel spies like Raymond Davis, a play called America Chalo, which we then brought to Georgetown University foreign affairs students, who I think benefited a lot from that.
Thank you, yes. Excellent. So I was just going to ask the students, the first speakers, as part of your seminar, what was the experience like of putting on, rehearsing and then putting on the performance?
Fun. I liked it. I think we were all like bummed out when Poesia was like, y'all are gonna have to show up 2 hours a day, every day, for a whole week. And it's like round 2 of midterms for some of us. So I think people were really upset, but then we had so much fun.
And now you have 4 days in your midterms.
So much. And then we slowly came up with like the guidelines and the perfections of the lines and like the little tweaks. And sometimes I think Fozia wanted to throw us out of the actual window, and sometimes
Never.
we wanted to throw ourselves out of the actual window. But in the end, it all worked out.
Anyone else? Lawrence or
I think the rehearsal process was chaotic, but like a fun kind of chaos. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna like delete half of this page. No, we're putting it back in. Or no, we're reordering this, and you know, it was fun though. It's fun to like, you know, play that kind of game. I do want to say thank you to our main character, the window. I don't know. I think we had a good run with it. And she brought us pizza for our dress rehearsal.
No, I think what was also, I didn't know this many people in our class could do accents really well. Like when Salma walked in and started like doing the craziest French accent I've heard in my life, I was like, okay, damn, I get why I have 2 lines. But I think like outside of that, it's really refreshing to see the gendered aspects of the play we take it on, especially because in our class, I feel like sometimes we divert our attention to like, what does post-colonial modernity mean? What do these iterations of colonial power, canonization, what do they mean for us in the current world order? But I think in like sort of this retreat to the past, in like inhabiting the world of this play, we were allowed to like track more of like the interpersonal elements, whether they be gender, whether they be romance, and like generally the cusp between reality and fiction in the life of a spy. And I think that was really refreshing. It was something that this, you know, class got to offer me, and also amazing freshman first gender studies class. I'm definitely doing one.
All right. Well,
Yes,
that's
if you're a
great.
student, take Fozia's class next semester. Life-changing class.
Take all her
Transnational
classes.
feminism, insane class.
I promise I have not bribed them to say this.
But you will reward them.
Yes, I will have to reward them, that's for sure.
Maybe from the audience.
Yeah, and maybe, yeah. Yes.
Zoha, no.
No, I have a question for the director and playwrights, and also for the audience, because I think it's a two-pronged question. So my first question is, one of the books I'm reading on is Palestine and fiction, and it talks about, one of the things it talks about, the delicacy in when you take fiction, or in this case, theater, to talk about such a difficult topic. So how do you, especially if you have not experienced, like, in their case, they're talking about like the partition of Palestine, and I guess here, like partition itself before. So how do you go about making something that's not necessarily real into something that's real? And how do you balance like the fiction aspects of this play with the very real aspects that partition was a thing and people experienced this? So that's my one question to you both. And then my follow-up question to the actors is like, what does it mean, and how did you guys balance being actors in this quote-unquote fictitious partition when this actually happened, and like people actually did experience partition, but you're acting on these people that like experienced it, but you yourself didn't. So like, how did you balance that as actors, and how did you guys balance that as yourself?
Zoha, you.
As far as
That's deep.
history or reality and fiction is concerned, in my view, for theater makers, there is no clear line between fact and fiction, or between history and reality, between imagination and real life situation. As long as the essence is clear, as long as our approach towards history is more realistic and more sincere, may not be very objective. So in many of our history plays, we have taken liberty of mixing fiction and fact, and I think people understand it and they enjoy it. In any case, history is mostly fiction anyway.
Thank you. And just a quick comment to add on. How did we balance? And then I think we want to hear from the students, and there are a couple of hands up. But balancing history and fiction in this very particular play. I mean, I agree with Shahid's, sort of sense about the theater, which doesn't draw such hard and fast lines, and therefore it was. But you still, you checked your facts, which we did. We did a lot of research. Read a lot of books, figured out, what direction we wanted to play, which scenes we wanted to, what we wanted to emphasize. And so that's the historical research part of it, right? But the thing is that we had one character, especially Akbar Jahan, who is, and they're all historically, I mean, almost all of them are real characters in history that you heard about, from in the play. And Akbar Jahan is one of them. And she did go on after this brief marriage to T.E. Lawrence, which is what Tariq Ali has talked about in that book that was mentioned in the play, Clash of, Fundamentalisms. And he has checked his story. He says, well, I talked to her brother, I talked to so-and-so, and she definitely had this brief marriage with Lawrence. I happen to know the granddaughter of Akbar Jahan, who is also an academic, somewhere in the Midwest, Naila Ali Khan, and you heard the story I was telling you, right?
No,
I didn't. And so I did call her up, and Shahid said, yes, please do, if you know her, this is what we are planning to do. So when I called her up, and I told her, she says, that's absolutely categorically incorrect. And I said, yes, but Tariq Ali is this and Tariq Ali is that. So I said, well, but we are, to go back to Shahid's point, we're writing a play, and a play is it fictionalizes history.
But the brother verified the story.
No, the brother did. But what I'm saying is that for the granddaughter, this is, to talk about it and present it in this way is a problem, because it means that the legacy of the Madre Millet, as you said, the mother of the nation of Kashmir, gets a little bit sullied if you see it in this light. But what I told her, I said, listen, this is part of creative freedom. It is a history that connects all of this whole area in ways through gender, sexuality, class, all of these issues that are very important to us. And we shouldn't shy away, and nobody is claiming that the play is 100% real. I mean, that's not what plays are. But unfortunately, she's still mad at me. Yes. Oh yes, the students. Somebody wanted, there was a part of the question, how did you balance? Yes?
I think, like, in acting, right, you go back to ancient Greece and they already had these comedies and tragedies. You have these things in ancient China and in Japan, kabuki and all these things. The whole point of acting, the whole point of having a stage is that you can tell these crazy stories or these very serious stories in a way that you can't in just a paper or a book, in a way that maybe if you walked out in the forum and said that, somebody might like get mad and knife you or something.
Yes.
But when you're doing it as I'm just acting and they're just playwrights, then you can really make a maybe a cutting commentary. You can get straight to the point of a message. And even though it's a farce, these crazy situations, the window, all of that, right? You laugh, but you understand that there's real emotions that it's getting to for the audience and for anyone who wants to view that. And I think, like, for us, being in this class, we've read a lot on not just T.E. Lawrence, but on other people that were doing similar espionage activities as him and participating in this kind of colonial machine and this push and pull. And we were questioning every day in seminar that we met, was like, what were their intentions and what was actually going on here, and were they conflicted when they did these things? And even if they were internally conflicted, they're still an agent of that empire. They're still engaging in these oppressive mechanics and perpetuating that. And in this play, we see that the effects last even years after they're dead. And I
centuries.
Centuries, years, decades. And I think for us in the class and also participating in acting, we're having fun and rehearsing in that, but we're thinking always in the back of our heads about the stuff we talked about in class, that it is serious. And I guess maybe being on stage and presenting a funny version of a serious person who is now turned into a semi-fictional rendition into a character. I think it's like in trying to do respect both to the playwrights and their funny version, but it's also a serious version. And to do respect to, I think, the gravity of the real life situation is something that to act, you have to keep it in your mind.
Thank you. Baba?
We have one quick comment from Ayan.
Like specifically what you're talking about.
Can you speak up?
Narratives about the partition really interested me coming into this play, because really when you talk about the partition, you have to look at how the partition is contextualized, what rhetorical use does it serve in a world where the British drew an arbitrary line between Pakistan and India and Bangladesh. And I think what we really see is this is a way for India, for example, to claim legitimacy as an anti-colonial power, even as it exerts its colonial domination in Kashmir, for example, right? And so I think if I had walked in here thinking about the way my family discusses the partition as someone who was born on the Indian side of the Punjab border, I would find a really easy way to actually repurpose these tacit facts about history into a justification for colonial force. I think being in this play, seeing Akbar Jahan, having to deal with these informational asymmetries, these logical asymmetries, these historical asymmetries, these rhetorical asymmetries, enabled me to exist outside of using history as a justification force or a canonizing force in modern post-colonial world systems or neo-colonial world systems. And I think that was really important for me. In a sense, isolating yourself or removing yourself from the history you are personally invested in, or have the investment is specifically situated in the context of a nation-state investment. Then it becomes increasingly important to find ways to satirize yourself out of falling into the schema of seeing your national belonging as the only way to identify or belong to a history.
That's a great answer.
I think there are some questions.
Hang on, please. She's moderating.
I'm just pointing out.
नहीं वो ठीक है वो कर रही है please.
There was one over here, and then were there questions on the side?
Question right up front here.
Yes.
So we'll take them all together, Shahid. Is that all right? So then we can just answer them collectively.
So let Abu speak.
Just word of caution here between mixing, between the artistic content and history is if all the history books you read were Exodus, you'd have a certain view of the world, which would justify all kinds of things that are now happening in the Middle East. So, and unfortunately in today's age where, most people want to know the answer in 2 nanoseconds and look it up and it's available, the more books there are that pretend to be history, the more your Googles and your databases will lean towards giving you those answers. So you have to balance this. Of course, you want the artistic freedom and the being able to express yourself in so many ways. But I don't know the answer to this. But I think the downside is very, very dangerous. And that is that facts, history, original sources, knowing what happened will disappear. And there'll be a fictionalized view of what has happened in the last millennium, thousands of years. And until I don't know the answer to this. I think that's where we're headed. So just a word of caution.
Yeah, I think as a person who was observing students coming in and out in Fawzia's class and seeing them learning, joking, screaming, talking, I think that there were so many amazing things that happened here. I have learned from you, Fawzia. I've seen an amazing process that is going on. that that I haven't seen for years in teaching and in investing in students. And students are our best investment, our only investment, especially under such conditions. So the dynamics were amazing. One thing that really stood up clearly is the fact that the play itself showed us that politics starts in the bedrooms, in those spaces where the tender ties